Hello, everyone. Welcome. We're going to get started in just a couple seconds. While we're waiting to get started, go ahead and say hello in the chat box. Let us know where you're joining us from. Make sure you send that message to all panelists and attendees so we can all see. Again, welcome, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started. We have a full agenda for you today. So go ahead and keep saying hello in the chat box. We're going to go ahead and get started here. So again, welcome everyone. All attendees are in listen-only mode. This webinar is being recorded and a link to the recording and slides will be made available afterwards. So again, welcome everyone. My name is Leslie Gabay-Swanston. I'm the Director of Program and Systems Quality at the National Summer Learning Association. Just a brief overview of our webinar. Welcome to our webinar on entrepreneur education, harness students' talents and passions. Before we get started, here's an overview of today. I'll share a little bit about NSLA, then we'll hear from our featured guest. Then we'll have time for some questions and answers before wrapping up with some follow-up announcements. As we are going along, if you have any questions for our presenters, please put those into the Q&A box. I'll try to catch them within a chat box, but it's easier for us to see them and answer them live if they are in the Q&A box. So a little bit about NSLA. The National Summer Learning Association is the only national nonprofit exclusively focused on addressing the achievement and opportunity gaps by increasing access to summer learning opportunities. NSLA's goal is to increase nationwide the number of high-quality summer learning opportunities for young people. To achieve this goal, NSLA recognizes and disseminates what works, offers expertise and support for programs and communities, and advocates for summer learning as a solution for equity and excellence in education. NSLA is driven by the belief that all youth deserve high-quality summer learning experiences that will help them succeed in college, career, and life. Core to our work is the belief that recognizing high-quality summer learning programs work and have been shown to improve reading and math skills, school attachment, motivation, and relationships with adults and peers. So with that, I'm going to turn things over to Liz Nuskin at the Ohio After School Network. Liz?
Thank you, Leslie. And good morning or good afternoon. During these unprecedented and challenging times, we all need to think like entrepreneurs. And I have a picture here that Scott's going to show you that shows 10-year-old Paige from Riverside, California, who MacGyvered a solution to the problem of not being able to hug her grandparents because of COVID. She refused to be stymied and created a hug curtain using a plastic shower liner, duct tape, Ziploc baggies, and paper plates. She used her entrepreneurial mindset to create a solution to a problem in her life. I'm pleased to welcome you to today's session on using the entrepreneurial education to harness students' talents and passions and help build their entrepreneurial mindset so that they, like Paige, feel empowered to solve problems in their school, community, and lives. I'm Liz Nuskin, and I've worked in the out-of-school time field for 20 years, and I'm consulting with the Ohio After School Network to bring entrepreneur education to Ohio youth in summer and after-school programs, and today to bring it to states across the country. I convene today's subject area experts and practitioners to talk to you about entrepreneur education in summer programs because this is such a timely and essential skill. It's flexible and fun for staff and youth. Youth don't actually need to start a business, but they do need to build their entrepreneurial mindsets, helping them to see the bigger world and be involved in their own growth and development, things that both youth and adults value in summer programs. Today, you're going to be hearing from OEN's partners along with us in this work, and talented program leaders who will share their experiences in incorporating entrepreneur education into their summer programs. You'll meet them throughout the hour. So now let's get started. I'm going to turn it over to Chick Thompson, who founded Waggy Labs.
Thank you so much, Liz. So welcome everyone. And I want to take you back to when you were 5 years old. Your parents just bought a large appliance. It came in a box and your parents are throwing out the box. I want you to just think like an entrepreneur. What did you do with the box? Now, did you turn it into a castle, a spaceship, a sled? If you turned it into a sled, who did you put it in? Who put in to test drive it when you went down the steps of your house? Was it a puppet show? The reason why I say to think like an entrepreneur is because when you got that box, you said, it's not a box, it's a. And that's what out of the box thinking is all about. Because a box is a finite idea. It's not a box is an infinite idea of possibilities. So let's just think today with COVID-19. It's not a home, it's a school. It's what else could it be? A library. What else? A vacation. How about a restaurant or a theater or a playground or a crash pad? So that's the kind of thinking we need today. We're all doing entrepreneurial flexible thinking. So today is not a Zoom presentation. It's a way to think outside of our box or even the boxes on our screen right now to go and celebrate some teachers and some kids that are really learning to ask great questions, because I think curiosity is born with all of us, which is one component of an entrepreneur. Compassion is taught, and that's why I'm going to talk to you about Carla Neely's class. And then courage is the next piece. So I think courage is caught in the sense that we get with a bunch of girls, like here, we've got 20 girls. This is 3-4 weeks ago in Cleveland, all going to Warner Girls Leadership Academy. And they were brainstorming, what could they do to help people that are homeless in inner city Cleveland? What I didn't know is 3 of the girls that were Zooming in were homeless, were coming in from the shelter. So I want to show you a little recording from that brainstorm.
Hello, everyone. My name is Carla Neely. I am a 4th and 5th grade teacher at Warner Girls Leadership Academy in Cleveland, Ohio. Waggy Labs is a program that is all about looking at community challenges and brainstorming ideas for solutions for the greater good of the community that they are serving. My students wanted to create a Dayglow mask for the community that they live in. And the reason was because they discussed during a brainstorming session with Chick that many of their moms work the 3rd shift, which means they are walking to work and it's dark, and they are getting off of work and it's dark, and nobody can see them and they can't see people. So when wearing a Dayglow mask, they can see people and the people can see them, and they would be safe, therefore be safe going to work and coming home from work. And also one of my students who is homeless also came up with the idea of even having Dayglow masks for the homeless people so that people can see them on the street as well. This is such an exciting project for my girls because for the first time ever, when Chick came to talk to my girls about brainstorming, my student who is homeless, she actually turned on her screen and was participating, and you were able to see her. And she did the cutest thing. She made a fort because it was so noisy to block some of the noise, and so that we weren't able to see people were walking back and forth in the shelter. And I can honestly say, even now, when it is time to work on the Waggy Lab project, you see her face even still. Currently, the girls are designing their masks. I have dispersed all their materials for them to work on. I cannot wait to share with Chick and everyone their final product. And I am hoping that I get to work with Wagi Labs again with my new group for next school year.
So that was Carla Neely, and now I want to pass it back to Scott, and we're going to learn more about entrepreneurship for youth.
Awesome. Thanks, Chick, and thanks, Clara. Thank you all of us for joining us today. And this big, long word, entrepreneurship, a lot of us associate that with, starting a business or a startup, stock market. But as you've seen with these examples of, the young girl just wanting to give her grandma a hug, these young ladies so concerned with the well-being of their parents and for the homeless and houseless community, it really is way more than starting a business. It is a way of thinking and a way of acting. And so by that definition, entrepreneurs identify and take on challenges. They bring together resources and they create value for others. So that definition, we are all kind of entrepreneurs, and especially you, the after school, outside of school staff that's getting ready for summer. You're constantly being entrepreneurial. You are creatively solving problems and bringing value to your youth, to your program, to your community with limited resources. So excellent work, and just kind of realizing that term entrepreneurship and entrepreneurial learning is more than a business. It also can apply to that restaurant worker who comes up with a new way to carry more plates out to the table. That's very entrepreneurial. It applies to a nurse who might come up with a new patient intake system, or a farmer who comes up with a different way to do crop rotation. This entrepreneurial thinking is pervasive and is all around us. And so when we think about these entrepreneurial mindsets and skills that kind of transdisciplinary, can go across multiple career fields, multiple subject matter areas, programming during the day, after school, summer. It's really preparing youth for that ever-changing future, because we can do hard skills development, but we know that with changing technology, how society, especially now, is shifting and changing so rapidly. When we give our youth these mindsets and skills, they can take them wherever they need to go. Sets them up for success. And so specifically with youth entrepreneurship and in your summer program, it's fun and engaging. Like Miss Clara was saying, her kids look forward to that time, and yours will too, because it's a moment that really gives them their voice and their choice. And we know that helps us with recruitment and retention. We know that just like in this picture, it's going to bring smiles. And that's what we need in our summer program. Is we want them to vote with their feet, to show up and engage, and entrepreneurship is a great way to do that. With the changing nature of how we are engaging our youth and our staff and our community, youth entrepreneurship is versatile. It works in person and virtual. So you can quickly modify, or if you have to go back and forth, that transition is made easier. And then it's also going to go into a little more detail here about how you can engage your family and community with youth entrepreneurship. There's a really strong tie and connection to STEM. At Venture Lab, where I work, we call it eSTEAM, where we bring STEM to life through this entrepreneurial lens, and really an application of what students are doing in an existing STEM initiative or STEM program that you have. You don't have to start a new entrepreneurship program. Kids are already, if they're engaged in STEM or a creative process where they're making and designing, you've got market research right there. You've got the ability to talk to those mindsets as they are embracing failure, testing, iterating, improving, that growth mindset. And those are those mindsets and skills we can bring directly into existing programs with just a little tweak to make it entrepreneurial. This slide's got a lot going on, I know, but I want to present this connection also to our social and emotional learning that we know is so important and has become a part of most of our programming in summer and beyond. This is a chart from the Collaborative for Academic and Social Emotional Learning, or CASEL. And in the blue boxes, you'll actually see entrepreneurial thinking there. It is, social emotional learning is so integrated with this entrepreneurial process and way of thinking that as you're going through this, and you're bringing entrepreneurship and adding and interweaving it into your existing programs or starting something new, you're going to be able to explicitly work on the social emotional part of your students' well-being and that development as well. And always looking forward, career ready, college ready. This is a chart from the World Economic Forum's most recent job report, where they ask businesses and community, hey, what are those top skills that you're looking for? And you'll notice right off the bat that creativity has made a big jump. And as Chick was saying, that entrepreneurial thinking is what is outside the box. And when we open that space up, and summer's the perfect time to do that, to give, because we have a little time, we can engage them in that type of learning they're going to respond to, asking them about their passions. They're going to step into that creative space and then take that skill, because creativity is a skill that can be practiced. And they're going to take that with them into their career and college success, whatever path they choose. You'll see that emotional intelligence has made an appearance on the list. Again, back to those social emotional learning teaching moments and opportunities. You see critical thinking, complex problem solving, still number one. And that's what Miss Clara's girls did. They're solving problems in the community. Making that curtain to hug grandma, there's countless examples of youth coming up with the most amazing ideas and solving the most amazing problems. And summer is the time that we have that we can really build these skills. So with that, I'm going to pass it back over to Liz, who's going to share with you some of her experience with using youth entrepreneurship with community engagement.
Thank you, Scott. This is one of the many reasons I really love entrepreneur education. Is it's an authentic way for you to engage community members and create new champions for your program. People who might not normally know about your program can get involved in any one or several of these ways that are spelled out on the slide and become champions for your program. So that could be the Better Business Bureau, the Chamber of Commerce. It could be elected officials, business leaders, new and established entrepreneurs, and the media. I'm sure you can think of more folks that you'd love to get into your program doors to see all the wonderful things that you're doing. A pitch event is a great way to get those folks into your program and supportive and providing new champions, not just for your program, but for the students in your program. The pictured here, I just love this picture. This is from Heart Reach Neighborhood Ministries, a faith-based summer program in Youngstown. And they sent out press releases about their pitch event, and they got 2 TV stations that showed up and covered their pitch event. And you'll see in this picture here, so the TV cameraman in the back, the judges who are there, members of the community, and then that young man making his pitch, not just before the judges, but before the TV news camera. So what a great opportunity for students to practice performance under pressure. And hopefully you're aware of National Summer Learning Week, which is a great opportunity for you to bring the community into your program and see all the great things that you're doing. And I encourage you to consider having a pitch challenge in your program for National Summer Learning Week. All right, so next slide. You're going to actually get to see what an example of a student pitch looks like here, and how students identify challenges in their everyday lives, some of the ones that we've already shared. This young woman is a participant in the summer program at Merrick House, and she won 2nd place in the Ohio After School Network Pitch Challenge last summer. So go ahead and play that, Scott.
Do you ride the bus? Are you tired of having nowhere to sit, but you don't want to touch those nasty handlebars, especially with coronavirus lurking around the corner? My name is Sauda, and I have a solution for you called Grip-A-Bus. Grip-A-Bus is a piece of cloth with a handhold on each end and a piece of rubber in the middle to help you grip onto the pole. Grip-A-Bus can be used on any public transportation. All you have to do is loop it over the pole and hang on. Grip-A-Bus is also washable and reusable, so after you use it, just throw it in the wash and let it hang dry. Or you can wash it by hand. So go head over to www.gripabus.com to get yours now, so that next time when the bus comes to a quick stop, you won't go flying.
So Sauda didn't actually start a business, but I think that's just a great business idea. that she came up with and pitched there. Next, I'm going to turn it over to Stacy Ward Braxton, Executive Director at New Life Community Center in Cleveland. There we go.
Thanks, Liz. It's so great to be with everyone today. So we actually participated in the pitch challenge this past summer as a part of our entrepreneurial camp. And so this was the first time that we ran a camp specifically with the entrepreneurial focus in the COVID, of course. And so our camp is the Lead and Learn Innovation Camp with the New Life Community Development Corporation. And you see the information up on the slide. It was our targeted population were students in grades 3 through 8. We did have 25 students, and our retention wasn't that bad considering one of the trends that we're starting to see as even we talk to some of the parents and individuals is that individuals start with a certain number of students and then it drops off. But we were able to retain mostly all of the students that we started with. And one of the things that we did before we ever even kicked off our summer camp as it relates to our parent engagement, because this was a really large piece, we got a ton of individuals that started to ask us, how did we get our parents involved and so involved? And we kicked off the camp before it ever started with the parent orientation. But what we told them was that the students could not participate unless they attended the orientation, and that it was our job to make sure that we made them successful in attending that by any means necessary. So instead of putting a barrier there that they had to attend an orientation on a specific day, we let them know if that means that we have to meet you online individually, we are going to do that because we want for your students to be able to your child to be able to participate. We provided summer camp kits. We actually included student voice within this camp a whole lot this year because we wanted them to have things that they wanted to see. They created and designed the original camp kit they got a book bag and some other items in it. They designed the logo. They actually put the logos on the bags, and we disseminated those out to all of the individuals in the camp. There were 3 things that I think actually made our camp extremely successful this year. I think it had to do with compassion, curriculum, and community. And so if you look at the slides that are at the bottom, the 2 with the where there's one with the woman and her hands are on her hip. This we looked at as being kind of an old model of you have your teacher and instructor, and then the student. We let the parents know from the very beginning that this was not that model, that this involved the only way we could be successful is if we had the parent actually in the middle facilitating a lot of the relationship with the students. And we wanted to involve the entire family unit. And so when I think about the whole compassion, culture of compassion, we built that in from our team, our staff, from the students, even online. One of the things that we saw was that people are really hypersensitive since we entered into this whole COVID season. And so anytime we saw that there was anything that arose that was different than that went against compassion, we immediately talked with students about it and took time out to address it, and then really took time with our parents and talked with them. They really just needed someone to talk to. The curriculum, YEI's curriculum was extremely instrumental because it gave us what we needed to be able to really give the students what they needed. And we were able to write our own curriculum for the other areas of the camp, and we took a lot of time doing that. The last piece is we built community. It was almost a means of a wraparound service via community. So when we wanted speakers between YEI and OAN, they were fabulous with getting us resources and going online, looking at the YEI database in terms of getting speakers that way. But the other thing is we utilize our parents for everything. One of the biggest things that I think was a great takeaway for us as it relates to a way to get parents involved, but really recruiting to youth, we really helped the parents to see that they were entrepreneurs. And so if that meant telling a parent, you're an entrepreneur, that side hustle that you might have, or getting them to even realize that coming up with the solution of an edged table that might be sticking out that could hurt one of their kids, and the mom that puts a tennis ball on that corner, you're an entrepreneur. You just solved a problem. And I think the light bulb went off. So that's really some of the stuff that we did as it relates to pulling the parents in. And the parents, they were at all the meetings. We had one meeting a week with the parents, and it was really like a parent meetup. All the parents participated. There was never a time that parents missed a session, and we were completely surprised by that. So this was our camp, the Lead and Learn Innovation Camp, and the 3 things that we believe contributed to our success this past year in 2020.
Well, thank you very much, Stacy. And now we're going to hear from another program partner. Going to pass it to Marie.
Hello, everyone, and thank you so much. My name is Marie Edwards, and I'm presenting with Dr. Anisha Daniels, and we're from the Community Building Institute and Rise After School and Summer Programs here in Middletown, Ohio, where our Midi Pride runs extremely deep. But our pride did take a hit in 2008 when Forbes magazine named us the top 10 dying city in the country. And then in 2016, J.D. Vance released his Hillbilly Elegy, and is now a movie on Netflix. And so the country formed an opinion about us in the dying Rust Belt city in Middletown, Ohio. But with all of that being said, we're still great people doing great work with great kids here in Middletown. And Middletown has always been a place where we have CEOs of million-dollar companies who are either our best friends, your best friend's dad, or your dad actually earns his pension from one of those companies. And I know firsthand about all of that. We network our relationships. We build on our assets and our idea of what are you becoming now? And that is the question that we ask our students. And that's the foundation of CBI. And so with working with our RISE students, we began to realize that our students in the community, the relationship wasn't as strong as it used to be. And that's what Dr. Daniels and I were realizing as we were talking to our students. And one of the reasons is that our student transient rate is extremely high, 12.7% in our district and 18.1% in our high school. And so we decided that the YEP Challenge would be an excellent asset builder to promote relationships and building the relationships between our students and our community. And so we used entrepreneurship, mentoring, and civic engagement to build on those relationships. And so Dr. Daniels is going to tell you how we did it.
Thank you so much, Marie. So what I had from what Ms. Edwards was talking about, when we looked at our summer program and the main skill sets that we wanted to bring about, we focused on entrepreneurship, mentoring, and civic engagement. And with that entrepreneur piece, a common thread that you will hear from some of the organizations is the importance of that YEP challenge and the Young Entrepreneur Institute's curriculum. So we utilized that curriculum so that we could begin to talk with our students and have them begin to understand what it is to develop their business. In doing so, we began to partner with the community by inviting different businesses to come out and speak with them. So we had over 8 different companies and community leaders come out to meet with our students and talk with them about how to utilize their marketing piece, how to utilize finances within starting a business. And then the students came up with an idea. They developed the idea of doing a t-shirt business based on Pangea. Together we are one. And in the pictures that you see here, you'll notice that the students not only designed the pictures, but they even did photo shoots to market their product and went around to different organizations and businesses within the community, all while practicing social distancing so that they could really get their product out there. And it was a wonderful experience for them. After we really talked about the entrepreneurship, we went on to our mentoring piece. In the mentoring, those same business leaders began to do group and one-to-one mentoring. As Ms. Edwards talked about in the beginning of hers, we had 2 millionaires that sponsored a table of 10 to attend a Men of Honor event held in Cincinnati, Ohio, where it honored prominent men within the area. And in this picture, Mr. Steve Hightower and Mr. Philip Holloman, both of them are millionaires, introduced and not only introduced themselves to the students, but began to network with them, find out what their interests were, what they want to do after high school. The thing that the kids held on to was they began to see themselves in a different light. They began to see themselves not just as those athletes, but also as potential business owners. That was just a wonderful, wonderful experience. Next, we did peer-to-peer mentoring because we thought that was just as important. With the peer-to-peer mentoring piece, the students got to be matched with young people. And in this picture here that you'll see is they gave them new Nike shoes. And the excitement on the kids' faces when the high schools were with their littles was just amazing. And what they got from that experience was amazing. So the next piece that we wanted to really impact them with was civic engagement. So civic engagement, for our project, we decided to do a community garden because many families in the area don't have reliable transportation. So just having a place where they could plant and gather from was very important for the students. So as you see here, they didn't just plant the seeds, they built the raised beds, they filled the raised beds with dirt and mulch and topsoil, and then they planted the seeds. And at the very end, the very last picture, this is something that impacts us all, is how the students were so excited to see the product of their labor. And as Ms. Ed was saying, we do a lot of great work here, and a lot of the presenters you'll see here are doing the same thing. We're inputting into the kids so that they will be a product of our love, of our efforts, and letting them see beyond themselves, that they will come back to their communities to start a business, or they will mentor someone else. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Daniels. Appreciate it. Great to hear from these programs. And with our final program share, I'm going to invite Erica from the Andy Roddick Foundation.
Hi, good afternoon. My name is Erica Padilla, and I am a program associate with the Andy Roddick Foundation. We are proud and grateful recipients of the 2019 New York Life Foundation Excellence in Summer Learning Award. The Andy Roddick Foundation is a nonprofit organization that supports out-of-school time in Central Texas, and we do this in a variety of ways. We partner with 3 Title I schools in East Austin to fund and support their after-school programming. We also directly run a 6-week summer learning program at those campuses. Additionally, through Learn All the Time, we provide quality initiatives to out-of-school time providers in Central Texas. My role as a program associate is to work with the programs team to plan and implement our 6-week summer learning program. This is a full-time and long-term position. Many people think I only work during the summer, but for those who are familiar with NSLA's best practices know that summer starts in September. Our summer planning begins in the fall. We spend the year planning, writing curriculum, and forming partnerships. During the summer, I serve as a site coordinator for one of those campuses that we serve. Partnerships are key in the success of our summer learning program. At the Andy Roddick Foundation, our mission is to work with our community to provide opportunities for young people to learn, thrive, and succeed. We partner with experts in our community that can provide our students with a variety of experiences in different fields in hopes that those opportunities will spark their passion. Experiences from, say, rugby to dance, from 3D printing to entrepreneurship. Experiences that will not only spark their passions, but also build the skills and mindsets that they need to be successful in anything that they do. Venture Lab was one of those partnerships, and we were fortunate enough to have them run an entrepreneurship program for us in the summer of 2019. Their entrepreneurship project closely tied to our superhero theme. We plan our program based off of a theme, right? Through theme-based learning, students build connections. as the theme is integrated throughout different areas of our curriculum and the different activities that they do. Each week this summer, we highlighted a new superhero, and students studied content related to their superpower or persona. Venture Lab was part of our program during the very last week of our summer, which tied up our summer very nicely. The Entrepreneurship project allowed students to identify real-life problems and create innovative solutions to better their school community. It was really neat to see, and what was really great to see was that they learned that they too can be superheroes. Camp is about having fun, right? And learning in a way that unfolds authentically and naturally, rather than being lectured to or told what to do. We foster strong relationships and build a safe learning environment where students can take learning risks. Entrepreneurship was a perfect fit for our program because it allows students to be leaders by putting them in the driver's seat. The instructors didn't tell them what to do or what they needed to solve. They empowered students by allowing them to identify the problem, work together to find ways to solve the problem, create a prototype for the solution, and pitch that prototype to a panel of judges that were made up of local superheroes. It was an amazing experience to watch our students go through. I was proud of the courage, the creativity, the teamwork that all of our students displayed from kindergarten to 5th grade. The value and impact that this experience brought to our program can really be shown through the words of the students themselves. And that's what you see here on the screen. At the end of every week, our students filled out a memory card to reflect on their experiences, how they felt, what they learned, how they've grown, what they enjoyed. Here are 2 memory cards from that week. And these words alone can show the impact that entrepreneurship had on our program.
Well, thank you, Erica. So I hope you've enjoyed hearing from these programs and kind of on the ground, practical application, implementation of youth entrepreneurship in a variety of different ways. And so now we're going to start a section before our Q&A. We're going to share resources that are available to you at no cost from our different resource partners that you can use this summer. Chick, over to you.
Great, thanks, Scott. So I want you to think about Rube Goldberg for a moment. So we've switched the slide. Yeah. So my program is called WAGGY Labs. WAGGY stands for What a Great Idea, and it's all about ideas for good. So I want you to think about Rube Goldberg. I don't know if any of you know about Rube Goldberg, but if you played the game, if you could just go back a slide, please, to the Mousetrap game. Rube invented that game when I happened to be about 8 years old. And he happened to be my next door neighbor, and which is the reason why I'm a cartoonist. So on the next slide, you'll see a picture of Rube, and then you'll see a little cartoon he drew for me when I was actually probably 10 years of age. But what Rube taught me was that he said, everybody in life likes to go from A to B as fast as possible. He said, he likes to go from A to B using all the letters of the alphabet. And that's what I realized life is actually all about now. It's all about detours and looking through things from different perspectives. And then every once in a while, you've got that brainstorm when you've got to go and make a decision about how to go and get through a challenge, whether it be a community challenge or, for me, a personal challenge. I was held back in 2nd grade because I can't read. They didn't even have the word dyslexia when I was in 2nd grade, but I had to brainstorm. How do I get out of school? And I figured out, since I could draw and get an A on everything I illustrated, and I got a D on everything I wrote, every book report, what if I illustrated every book report? An A and a D equals a C+, which worked all the way through high school. It did not work in college, but that's a whole different story. But the point is that we all brainstorm. I think life is a brainstorm. And now you'll see through WAGGY Labs and Venture Lab and YEI, we all hold pitch contests. And at WAGGY Labs, we have sort of a way of life. It's get messy. It's using yes and, teaching kids to improvisational theater, dream big, do good, perseverance, grit, keep going, playing it forward, but most importantly, the whole piece of compassion, which is walking in others' shoes. And so I teach entrepreneurship at University of Virginia Business School. I've done that for 33 years. And in 33 years of teaching entrepreneurship, I never realized the word ship was in entrepreneurship until a kid told me. So that's why we decided to make a kid voyage of kids traveling through the sea of curiosity, landing on the island of compassion, and going through the ocean of courage as they become a detective, uncover needs, walk in other shoes, build prototypes, and then pitch at guppy tanks. We have 13 lessons. It's a 178-page playbook. It's all free. And now with COVID, we go, kids are maybe zoomed out. How do we create something that can get back into their hands that maybe they can play with their family, and maybe if they don't have broadband? So we've created an Ideas for Good card game. And so next slide, please. I just wanted you to see the Waggy kids in Accra, Ghana. This is why I get up in the morning, because there's a 6-hour time lag, and I go in and teach Waggy Labs in 4th and 5th grade classes. Waggy Labs is 3rd through 5th grade all over the world. So the kids in Accra, Ghana, they catch malaria. And they determined that that was their community need, to get all kids to wash their hands. So I said, hey, so do you want to create posters, or what do you want to do? They go, no, we want to write a music video. And I'm going, do you know how to write a music video? Well, yeah. And they said, it's easy to write lyrics. We'll just borrow something from TS. I didn't realize TS meant Taylor Swift. But so they wrote this music video. So if Scott, if you could just play it, they wrote it and filmed it on their smartphone.
Have fun. 1 and 2.
Back, back, back. Every day back. Wash, wash, wash. Every day wash.
So what you'll see there is it's a 2.5-minute video. You can watch it on YouTube. And what's so much fun is that it's on all Ghanaian TV now. And the community loved it so much, they made roadside billboards to promote the music video. And the girls that created it are now rock stars. Now, it's not just in Ghana, but in Cumberland, rural Virginia, the kids there, they formed their own group. They call themselves the Little Waggies, and they wrote a music video about keeping it clean. And then we've got YWCA in inner city Chicago, where the kids there, they said, gosh, our mother's feet hurt, and a lot of our moms have diabetes. How could we go and create an insert for our mother's shoes to help them with their diabetes? So we lined the kids up with some medical residents, and they helped the kids brainstorm, and they actually created foam inserts. And we even got Dr. Scholl's involved. So Waggy Labs is all about getting kids to be curious, to walk in other shoes, and to then have the courage. But the final piece is to then share their story with other kids around the world. So we've created a Pen Pals program, and we've got kids in Navajo Nation, where we teach communicating with kids in Chicago, communicating with kids in Ghana. And that's our goal, is that we can have a global guppy tank of kids' ideas around the world, and then kids and coaches and parents and families can all participate. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Chick. Yeah, go check out Waggy Labs. I'm going to hop in here. Again, Scott from Venture Lab. We have a variety of resources and experiences that are available to you for your summer programs. venturelab.org. You can download at no cost our full curriculum for these various grade bands here. We also have some professional development that can help you and your staff get prepared to use them. Specifically around that caregiver and community engagement, if you have the mentorship or volunteers, we have a mindset workbook. Each chapter is one of those entrepreneurial mindsets, including creativity. There's over 60 activities that are set for the youth and an adult to work with for some 2-gen, some co-learning that can happen around that. As far as experiences, we also, tomorrow actually, you can come join us for a live virtual pitch event and hear these amazing ideas that youth have from ages 6 to 18. And there we have a panel of entrepreneurs to provide them encouragement and feedback, because it's not a competition. It's just a place, safe place where they can take risks and work on their pitch, work on their business idea, get feedback from these entrepreneurs. We also have a mentorship program that I personally am super excited about, giving youth this 4-month kind of runway of opportunities to identify their strengths, to work on those entrepreneurial mindsets in a very explicit way, but then also taking their idea one step forward. So if they're still prototyping, we'll give them up to $500 in resources to help make that prototype its next iteration. If they have a business that's up and running, then we'll help them increase their inventory or pivot into a different market and bring in those mentorship of entrepreneurs to help them grow. A free tool that we have out that you can use right now is the venturelab.org/builder. And this is an interactive web-based, it's a website. You don't have to have a login. It doesn't collect personal information, but it takes youth step by step through questions. It provides background and explanations of helping them think about their idea and develop it. So what is your idea? What makes it unique and different? Who are your customers? As you're looking to scale that and look at the financing, if you want to make this idea sustainable into the future, how will you make money? And then there's a financial literacy component where they can get some real-time feedback by plugging in their expenses, their revenue, and then see if they generate a profit. Then they can print out a business model. Lastly, and this is a new offering that we would love for anyone out there around the nation to contact me at scott@venturelab.org. We all know data speaks, and when we're looking for our funding and summer programming, if we can show the change in our youth and the change in our staff as well. VentureLab has worked with the University of Texas Advanced Center for Computing to create a mindset and skills survey that actually measures entrepreneurial learning of the youth and the staff in entrepreneurship programs, regardless of the curriculum that they're using. So you can have statements such as this to talk about the impact that your program is having. And with that, I'm going to pass it over to our friends at YEI.
Thank you, Scott, and all the great, wonderful programs that have been on today. We appreciate you. I'm Kelly Bigger from the Young Entrepreneur Institute. And at the Young Entrepreneur Institute at University School, we believe that every child should understand and experience entrepreneurship. And since our founding in about 2006, our programs have touched tens of thousands of children. In addition, we have collaborated with hundreds of educators and schools across Ohio and beyond to share programs, advice, and curriculum. We are in the K through 12 space, and we love to collaborate and spread the entrepreneurial mindset to kids and facilitators as well. We are instilling lifelong skills, whether or not these kids become entrepreneurs. We work in school, out of school, in the classroom with summer programs, kids in any sort of programming in any part of the nation. So we are here to help and happy and look forward to working with you. Next slide, please. And here is a smattering of what the Young Entrepreneur Institute offers. I'm going to have Jesse put our Inspire YouTube channel link into the chat box, but we have a conference every year. Last year, previous to it to being COVID, we had just under 600 people from Northeast Ohio and beyond attend a 2-day event all about entrepreneurship and what we can be doing to spread the entrepreneurial mindset. And so we have a YouTube channel, and on that we had Heather McGowan with talking about the future of work, and we had Kim Bearden this year from the Ron Clark Academy. So just lots of great sessions. You're welcome to pop in and listen to our recordings, and if you have any questions, please let us know. We are also offering power hours this year. And speaking of power hours, the next one is coming up, and it is on empathy, just like Chick was just talking about. It is February 18th at 4:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Our power hours are free. And this particular one, Leah's from the founder of Empowered and Poised, and Marissa, founder of Student Engagement, through creative storytelling are going to be our panelists, and they will be conducting activities. And we will also have an educator from the Cleveland Metropolitan School District that will be providing an educator perspective. So feel free to join us. They are also on our website. We've had past ones on social entrepreneurship, creativity, leadership, all kinds of topics. So those are there for your pleasure. We have awesome distance learning resources on our website. So feel free to dip into those. They aren't all our resources, but just resources gathered throughout the nation that could help you in some way. We also have a speakers bureau that Stacy mentioned, and you're welcome to look at that as well. In the past, these have been people who've been kind enough to come into our after school programs, our summer programs, classroom programs, and speak free of charge. But now that we are all Zooming, they are happy to Zoom to you. So feel free to check that out. And it also may give you ideas for your speakers in your local area. We also work with Lemonade Day. We do young market experiences here in Northeast Ohio where kids sell at markets. We have a cute tent with bubbles. We pay for the space and give them a real selling experience. And we're happy to pass on our knowledge to you and help you get that up and going. And of course, the pitch challenge that we've been talking about. Next slide, please, Scott. So as the programs are talking about, we have some free, easy, really fun curriculum for you. And it is out there. I will have Jesse put the link into the chat, but in that is a guide that will help you for teaching and facilitating the pitch. There's also a guide on hosting a pitch, and then a guide with blank worksheets and forms. And there are forms in there, worksheets that can be filled out online. So it has all the instructions you need, all the worksheets, videos that go along with each of the lessons and extra videos as well, winning videos from past pitch contestants, and also kind of good and bad videos so kids can see the difference. Lots of planning tools. It's fun, easy, effective. And we are here to help you. We can do webinars for you. We can train facilitators. We've done a lot of pitch challenges with summer programs. So whether you have 5 kids or 500 kids, it's a program that can be used with many or with few. So we are happy to help you out there, and we are here to assist. So we look forward to it. You can do it in person, you can do it hybrid, or virtually. So it's just super flexible and has all the tools that you need to run a successful pitch challenge. So I am going to pass it off, I believe, to Leslie to work on questions and answers. Thank you for having us.
Thank you so much, everyone. Those are just some really great resources, and we're really looking forward to seeing some of those pitches this summer. So we have a few minutes for questions for our speakers, and they'll come back on camera here. And while we wait, go ahead and if you have any question for anyone who presented today, go ahead and type those into the Q&A box. Just to get us started while we're waiting, I wanted to ask, and this can go out to anybody, do you think that this mindset, this entrepreneurial mindset, are these skills, can these skills be taught, or are they innate?
Dick's going to take that one.
I would say the curiosity is innate. That's a definite. But unfortunately, we start losing the curiosity when we enter school. If you have a teacher that says there's only one right answer, the right answer is in the back of the book also. So I find that's why at Waggy Labs, we specialize in 3rd through 5th grade, because we want to get the kids while they still have that innate curiosity, and then to build in and help them understand how to walk in other people's shoes. And then through group work, how to get the courage and through pitch competitions, how to get the courage. So the curiosity is definitely innate. The rest of it comes through some good instruction and group dynamics, and also a safe space.
Thank you, Jen. I see that we have a question about how parents can get a program like this started. Who wants to take that one? Scott?
I think depending on the age of your kiddos, with Venture Lab Resource specifically, we have the Entrepreneurial Mindset Workbook, which is for parents to use. It actually has tip boxes for caregivers. So that would be a direct resource if you're in kind of the elementary, middle school range, and starting with your youth first, your kids, and then going out from there, checking out the YEI Pitch Toolkit, WAGI Labs resources that have been shared, inviting those kids into that safe space would be a great way to start.
We have a comment here in the chat box. In Ohio, they recommend the ESB curriculum by Centerport for high school. What are the pros and cons of this curriculum?
And I can take that. The ESB is an entrepreneurship and small business industry credential that's approved by the Ohio Department of Education. And the Certiport actually is a test that students take. John, if you want to contact me, I'll put my email address in the chat box and I can talk to you more because that might be specific to Ohio. But the one of the curricula there uses the NIFTY curriculum.
We have another question. It says, I find it hard to find local business mentors. How did you find yours? Maybe one of the programs can answer that.
You want to go ahead, Dr. Daniels or Marie? Because
Okay,
I know
yes,
you
I
guys.
was wondering if I was muted or not. My apologies. But one of the benefits is that I found with a lot of organizations, especially businesses within our area, that have corporate social responsibilities that they're putting out there and that they're marketing. So when I was doing just online, looking at different businesses that was in the area, I looked to see if that was an interest of theirs. And then I would reach out to that HR department and come with the partnership of the schools. And I would just set up meetings and I would talk about the different opportunities that they could have. Lunch and learns, like you can come out to our school during lunchtime and just talk about your business, talk about how you got into your area. A lot of times that they're already on the clock. And because they're already on the clock and they're doing it for their jobs, they come out and meet the students. So the more touches that they have with the students, it then translated to, I would like to mentor this person offline. So they would ask me, what must I do to become a one-on-one mentor? And then I would talk them through our process.
We have another question about resources for maybe older youth, age 16 to 24, who are wanting to get their ideas out there. So any suggestions for resources for that age group?
Jesse?
I was going to say, Scott, I think you could answer that well.
So we have in our no-cost curriculum to download at venturelab.org, what we have in our 6th through 12th grade band is definitely usable for people who are getting into this process, trying to come up with an idea. It goes pretty in depth into market research, business model. So I think those would be two areas specifically where even older youth can get a lot of value from that. And everyone starts their journey in a different spot.
All right, so we're going to try to get in two last questions really quickly. Has the summer entrepreneurial work that young people have been involved with part of broader summer academic programs with any other courses? So any connection to broader academic programs?
I would say it completely varies. It's up to the objectives of the program, whether it can be well woven into other existing programming, or it can be a standalone. It really depends on what the objectives are of the summer program.
And can you please share one word which best describes the impact of the student's growth on your life? So maybe we can end on this question. Let's go around and maybe start with Scott. One word to sum it up.
Inspiration.
Chick? Oh, you're muted.
Unmute. Compassion would be my one word.
Okay. Erica?
Courage.
Liz?
Connection.
Marie?
Evolving.
Anisha,
Spiritual.
Stacy,
Creativity.
Jesse,
Hope.
right, and Kelly.
Youth voice, problem solver.
I'll
Sorry.
let it slide.
I couldn't decide.
Thank you so much, everyone. We're at time now. I'm sure we could get to lots more questions, but thank you again to everybody who presented today. Thank you everybody for coming. Just want to wrap up with a couple quick announcements about an upcoming event that we have. NSLA has our summer boot camp, Get Ready for Summer series. This is going to be a time for us, first week in March, to help you get ready as you're preparing for summer. Each day will be 2 hours, and we'll start with a panel of national experts. And then for the second hour, we'll feature some of our award-winning programs talking about how they implement these strategies in their program. We're going to cover topics such as COVID learning loss, academic supports, health enrichment, operations, and social emotional supports. And on the final day that week, that Friday, we're going to hold some open group office hours so you can come and connect with some of our experts and your peers and ask questions, brainstorm things that you're working on. So we hope that you'll join us. So look out for announcements and registration links for that. The registration link for that. And also, this webinar is part of our Voices of Summer webinar series, which will be ongoing. So again, look out for more on that, and you can look at past webinars on our website. Finally, if you are not following us on social media, that's the best way to keep up to date on new announcements. So you can follow us on Twitter and Facebook. We're also on LinkedIn. Finally, thank you again for everybody for joining us for this great webinar. Thank you to our speakers. Thank you everybody for attending, and have a great rest of your day and week. Bye.